Very good morning to you all. In continuation of our classes on freedom struggle. See, in yesterday's class, we came up to the end of the extremist phase, and I was discussing rise of Gandhi in Indian politics. Before that, we dealt with Home Rule Movement and the Lucknow Pact. Okay. From 1916 onwards, 17 to be very precise, after the Home Rule Movement, okay, it was entirely the story of one man. I told you Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Okay. Questions also I mentioned them for your understanding's sake. Okay. How to understand the rise of Gandhi in Indian politics? Okay. Number one. Was the rise of Gandhi in Indian politics the result of his personality or practical conditions prevailing in India at the time? That's one question. Second question was rise of Gandhi in Indian politics, a top class game at a high level. That is the other question. Third question, cooperative Gandhi turned non-cooperative. Discuss. Then fourth question, though Gandhi suspended mass movements, yet he remained as unquestioned mass leader. Discuss. These are the different types of questions given. Okay. While making you people to understand Gandhian personality, I told you in yesterday's class, a personality, you see, it's with extraordinary qualities, leadership qualities. Number one, intellectual caliber. Number two, man bestowed with tremendous reasoning. Next, number three, I told you Gandhian personality, elastic, okay, adaptive. Okay, it changes from place to place. Gandhi mastered this, how to mold himself according to the situation. I told you in South Africa, westernized Gandhi, in India, completely Indianized Gandhi. Okay. In Indian customs, traditions, dress, language, completely identified with the masses. Then I said Gandhi, a perfect blend of extremes within the, extremes. I mean, for moderate Gandhi, moderate. For extremist Gandhi, an extremist. Okay. Moderate in words and extremist in action. Very important statement I am giving you on Gandhi. Gandhi, moderate in words, extremist in action. Understand? Words very soft spoken and in action very stern. Okay. That's why you see a perfect balance, Gandhian personality. Right. Then I also told you amicable personality for different sections of the society. What's that is amicable about Gandhian personality? For peasantry, okay, he conducted Champaran Satyagraha, Kheda Satyagraha. For working classes, Ahmedabad mill workers strike. I'll tell you later about these things, right? With that, Gandhi emerged as the messiah of the working classes, the savior of the working classes. Okay, no Indian leader had, come so closer to the masses like Gandhi. Okay. Same Gandhi, I said, very interestingly, accepted as the leader by the landed aristocrats, jamindars, right, capitalist classes. I told you the reason also. They are afraid of only one thing, violence, and Gandhi, the man who would go to any extent in stopping any movement that goes violent. Okay. So you see Gandhian personality appealing to both capitalists, landed aristocrats, workers, peasants alike. Then I told you conservative Gandhi, holding Bhagavad Gita, speaking Ramarajya. Okay. Same conservative Gandhi accepted by Muslims. Now you will come to know Muslims declaring Gandhi, Ali brothers, the chairman of the Khilafat committee. Right? This is what is amazing. The leader representing different sections of the society who had conflicting interests. Workers and the capitalist class, they have clash of interest, right? Okay, same is the case with the peasant and jamindar. Hindu-Muslim tensions also, you see there, you cannot rule it out, right? Two different religions. Gandhi accepted as leader by both. This is what is really amazing. Tremendous surviving skills in politics. This is all personality traits of Gandhi. Man bestowed with reasoning, I told you. You can't find fault with his reason. Even his best critics accepted him. Okay, that he was right at one point or the other. Okay. Now circumstances favoring Gandhi. What were the circumstances favoring Gandhi? Number one, you see, by the time he returned back from South Africa, there's leadership vacuum in the Indian politics. I told you, Tilak, was not the same Tilak. He was not same dynamic, vocal Tilak, right? Annie Besant's leadership, all said and done, she is a foreign lady. Her theosophical society and background and, her home rule movement had limited appeal, right? And you see the great, moderate leaders, Firoz Shah Mehta, okay, and Gopalakrishna Gokhale both died, okay. Extremist leadership also deformed, right? That's why you see this benefited Gandhi, no popular leader in Indian politics, number one. Next, number two, the other advantage Gandhi had was, you see, the most experienced leader in Indian politics at the time. Most experienced leader in the sense in South Africa, I told you people, Gandhi waged a movement against the apartheid. Okay, apartheid and the white racist regime, you call it as Pretoria government, South African government. Okay. There Gandhi mobilized the Indian indentured labor, different communities. Gandhi experimented his techniques of Satyagraha in South Africa, right? Organizing non-violent peaceful movements there. Okay. So he's a very well experienced leader. Okay. This type of experience in organizing all class mass based movements, okay, no Indian leader had. I am using this expression, my dear, get it. Gandhi, the leader who had the experience of organizing all class mass based movements, all class mass based movements, no Indian leader. Okay. Did any leader go to masses first of all? I tell you, masses means the workers, the peasant. No Congress leader. Completely identified with the masses, Gandhi. I told you, Gandhi toured in general compartments, right? Moved as one amongst them, in his dress, in his language, completely identified with the people. These are all advantages Gandhi had, circumstances favoring Gandhi. Okay. Other important thing here is, you see the leaders of Indian politics at the time. If you say Bipin Chandra Pal, Bengali, Surendranath Banerjee, Bengali, Bal Tilak, you see Marathi, Lala Lajpat Rai, Punjabi. Do they have national stature? Whereas Gandhi, the personal Gandhi already had the acceptability of his leadership by Hindu, Muslim, Parsi, Sikh and everyone. Where in South Africa, he rose himself above all caste community considerations, right? Okay. This way you see this man had an appeal of all India level, in his personality, latent in his personality. That's the other advantage Gandhi had. Okay. Circumstances favoring Gandhi, right? And you see it all now goes with World War. Actually, I am telling you, it's World War situation that made Gandhi the leader. Okay, World War situation. Okay. Now, how Gandhi projected himself as the leader? Okay. I told you, cooperative Gandhi. He was not for confrontation with the British, right? Now, how this cooperative Gandhi turned non-cooperative? Okay. Rise of Gandhi in Indian politics and cooperative Gandhi turning non-cooperative. Now you see Gandhi founded Sabarmati Ashram, right? Gandhi also participated in the Lucknow session 1916, Ambika Charan Majumdar, president. Okay. There you see a section of the peasant peasants, you see, of Bihar, they brought the, issue of, you know, the system of advances and the exploitation connected with the Tinkatiya system, indigo cultivators and their problems. Rajkumar Shukla, remember this man, Rajkumar Shukla pleaded with Gandhi to come to Bihar, okay, Champaran, and organize the movement against the exploitation of, okay, European money planters, indigo, money planters, okay, indigo merchants, right? I already told you there's a system called Tinkatiya system, okay, 3 by 20th theme. 3 by 20th portion of your land you have to spare for cultivating indigo. If you don't spare for cultivating indigo, then you have to pay compensation. Sometimes you have to pay double the rent of tax, the land tax you have to pay. And even if you cultivate indigo, I told you again, that's a different type of exploitation. They will pay you only for half, you understand? Even though market price is more, they won't pay you anything more than that. Advance is the only one thing you have to remain contented with. They follow their own weights and measures. Highly, deceptive system, highly exploitative system. Okay, again, you see the problem if you are going for indigo, a commercial crop, the problem is what? That it affects, food crops. That's the main problem. Understand? Food crop cultivation gets affected, causing man-made famines. Now Gandhi was convinced that there is reason, okay, for a people's movement there. Okay. It was Rajkumar Shukla, I told you, peasant from Champaran, persuading Gandhi. Okay. Then Gandhi decided to go for the movement. Here you see Gandhi was very much supported by, okay, Brij Kishore, okay, better you note down the names, Brij Kishore, Babu Rajendra Prasad. First time you see Rajendra Prasad actively involved in the program. Rajendra Prasad, okay, Gorakh Prasad, Gorakh, Mahadev Desai, okay, Narahari Parekh, okay, Muzharul Haq, J.B. Kriplani, okay, and you have, of course, okay, Ashwath Narayan Sinha, A.N. Sinha. I will come out again, okay, because you see, it's waste of my time to write down all the names. You can note down, okay. Gandhi at Champaran, well supported by Babu Rajendra Prasad, Brij Kishore, Gorakh Prasad, Mahadev Desai, Narahari Parekh, okay, Muzharul Haq, okay, J.B. Kriplani, okay, and of course Ashwath Narayan Sinha. They all supported Gandhi in the fight. Okay. Now you see, importance of this movement is what? When Gandhi decided to enter Champaran, the Bihar administration, okay, issued orders prohibiting Gandhi from entering into Champaran. Gandhi decided to defy the order. Okay. When you decided to defy the order means what? That is civil disobedience. Break the law. If the law says that you should not enter into a place, you are ready to break the law and go to the place means that's a civil disobedience, right? Yeah, remember, my dear, the Champaran Satyagraha in Bihar, Gandhi's first civil disobedience. Gandhi's first civil disobedience, the Champaran movement in Bihar. Okay. Now here what happened? Okay. It's because of the movement started, finally the administration agreed for constituting Champaran Agrarian Committee. Champaran Agrarian Committee was constituted, okay, with Gandhi as one of the members. Right? Then finally, you see, committee recommended for what? Compensation to the peasants, because European money planters were exacting, right? They were looting the peasantry, exploiting. Now the peasant, the affected party, so compensation must be paid, okay, against the illegal Jews. Okay, how much? Okay, 25% refund. 25% of what that was collected, it must be refunded to the peasantry. Okay. Then you see Champaran Agrarian Act, okay, was also passed. Okay. This was definitely a great success. Okay. Now peasantry got compensation, okay, for the illegal dues that were collected against, they got the compensation. Right. This made Gandhi the first movement to make Gandhi popular. Remember Champaran Satyagraha, first civil disobedience by Gandhi. Then what happened? Ahmedabad mill workers strike. See, the point is, in some textbooks it is presented this way: Champaran, Khed, and Ahmedabad. That's how it is presented. But you see, logically speaking, it is Champaran, Ahmedabad, and Khed. That is the sequential order. Why? Because two movements started at a time. You understand? In the month of March only of 1980. On one hand, Gandhi was, leading Ahmedabad mill workers strike, and at the same time he showed interest in Kheda Satyagraha. Right. Then what happened in Ahmedabad mill workers strike? Okay. You see, Ahmedabad mill workers strike is because of, plague conditions. Plague, it's an epidemic. Plague conditions. Workers of Ahmedabad left the city, migrated to the other places. That's why there was a scarcity of labor. To overcome this scarcity of labor, okay, the mill owners, okay, textile mill owners decided to pay plague bonus. Okay, plague bonus for the workers, which was nearly 75% of the regular wage. 75% of the regular wages to be paid as plague bonus. Right. Then you see after that you see plague got receded. Okay. Plague ended. Even then you see workers continued to demand for bonus. Bonus at least 50%, because you see the price hike. No, war was going on, inflation was there. So for leading a satisfactory life, workers continued to demand for 50% at least, okay, hike as a bonus. Okay. So that's the problem, you understand? Okay. There was unrest of the Ahmedabad mill workers strike. Okay, Ahmedabad mill workers. Now Gandhi here was well supported by Ansuya Sarabhai. Okay. Ansuya Sarabhai well supporting Gandhi. Ansuya Sarabhai. Okay. Then Gandhi, okay, worked out a plan according to which, okay, instead of 50%, okay, the demand was put at 35%. 30% of wage hike. But the mill owners refused for this. Okay. When mill owners refused for this, Gandhi gave a call for workers not to accept less than 35%. And in support of the working class, Gandhi observed, okay, his fast unto death. See this. For first time you see Gandhi observing fast. Okay. Hunger strike. He used hunger strike as a weapon, forcing the mill workers. Finally, agreement was reached. As per the agreement, mill owners agreed for paying 35%. 35% of wage as bonus. Definitely success, okay, for Gandhi. Right. So you see, these movements definitely made Gandhi a very popular leader. Okay. This was, you see, it all started, I told you, okay, hunger strike of Gandhi, 15th March 1918. Okay, 15th March 1918. So this preceded, okay, Kheda Satyagraha. That's why the sequential order: Champaran, Ahmedabad mill workers strike, and Kheda Satyagraha. Right. Now you go to Khed in Gujarat. Okay. What was the problem there? In 1917, okay, there were severe rains in Gujarat part, Khed, devastating the crops. Okay. One of the provisions in the administration, British administration, was if crops were destroyed by rains or calamities, okay, and the production was less than one third of previous years. Previous years, less than one third of previous years. Then peasantry are entitled for total, waiver. That means they are entitled for complete exemption from tax. Complete exemption. Definitely, production was much less than one third of previous years. So peasantry are eligible for waiver. They are eligible for complete exemption. Okay. But you see, British administration had not relaxed this. British refused to accept the demand. Okay. This reminds us of one movie, remember? Lagan, cricket match. If you win the match, exemption. Complete, right? Like that. Okay. Now you see peasantry were asked to pay the tax. Right. So Gandhi decided to organize the movement here. Here Gandhi was supported at Kheda by Indulal Yagnik. Remember Indulal Yagnik, great peasant leader. I discussed Indulal Yagnik in Home Rule movement, supporting Annie Besant. Right. Now you see the leaders Indulal Yagnik, Vallabhai Patel, and even Ansuya Sarabhai. Okay. Vallabhai Patel, Ansuya Sarabhai, not only Ahmedabad mill workers strike but also Kheda Satyagraha. They all supported Gandhi, helped Gandhi in the movement. Gandhi gave a call for no taxation. Okay. In other words, this was the first Satyagraha, peasant Satyagraha of Gandhi in India. Okay. But remember one thing, whether it was civil disobedience in Champaran, whether it was fast unto death in Ahmedabad mill workers strike or Satyagraha movement at Khed, don't say they are part of freedom struggle. Please understand this. Gandhi did these things in his individual capacity, right? Not as the leader of the freedom struggle, not as the leader of the Congress party. Okay. One thing I wanted to make you people understand, Gandhi was desperately making an attempt to project himself as an alternative leader to the Congress party. Okay. He felt terribly upset. In 1916, I told you, in Lucknow session, Gandhi was not given proper recognition. Okay. And you see, moderate leaders died there. No one to, give due importance to Gandhi. Okay. So Gandhi was trying to project himself as the alternative leader, and in his attempt to do so, he, exploited these movements to his advantage by projecting himself as a good leader of the working classes. So don't say that he had done this in the freedom struggle. Okay. Gandhi's first Satyagraha, it goes with the Rowlatt Act in the freedom struggle. Okay. This is not part of freedom struggle, right? Champaran Satyagraha, Khed, Ahmedabad mill workers strike, these are not part of freedom struggle. They are isolated events. Right? One must remember this. In India, first civil disobedience, Champaran. In India, first hunger strike, Ahmedabad mill workers strike. In India, first Satyagraha, peasant movement under Gandhi's leadership, that was Kheda Satyagraha. Right? They are not in freedom struggle. In India, by Gandhi in his individual capacity. Right? Now what happened, you see, as a result of Kheda Satyagraha, the peasant refused to pay the tax, and finally it was accepted, right, by Gandhi. But you see, in this region there are only 70 villages came under the purview of Kheda Satyagraha out of 559 villages, right. It is a very much limited movement, but definitely a successful movement, right. So these movements definitely made Gandhi most popular leader of the working classes, right, a messiah of the working classes, right. Then what happened? Okay. So you see, Gandhi succeeded here, right, in projecting himself as the alternative leader, right. Then you go for what happened. What are the other events that made Gandhi most popular leader? Okay. What what made Gandhi most popular leader, and how it all led to a cooperative Gandhi, okay, going for non-cooperation. What made Gandhi a cooperative Gandhi, non-cooperative, one after the other events I am discussing. When I am discussing these events, in other words, I am also making you people understand the reasons for non-cooperation movement. Okay. Cooperative Gandhi turned non-cooperative. I already told you. Where do you see cooperative Gandhi? He gave a call for the youth to join the British Army. He rendered social service. He was given the title Kaiser-e-Hind, right? Nickname recruiting sergeant. He gave a call for, he gave a, he was definitely not for home rule movement against the British. This way you see definitely Gandhi, cooperative Gandhi. Now how cooperative Gandhi turned non-cooperative? Okay. After the war, he was just not the same Gandhi. Okay. There is a marked change in the attitude of Gandhi. See this, how he changed his stand. For Gandhi, war crippled the Indian economy. It's because of the war situation, taxes increased, land tax, heavily caused a burden for the Indian peasantry. Indian peasantry taxed quite heavily because of war. Okay. Similarly, it's because of war, industry crippled, right? Okay, I told you there were workers agitating, right? Lot of distress amongst the working classes. Trade unions were for. Okay. Now you see Gandhi, okay, gave a statement demanding the British to own the moral responsibility for this. Gandhi demanded not compensation, I should say. Gandhi demanded more relief for the working classes. Relief in sense what? No, tax must be reduced. Okay, lesser land tax and better working conditions for the working classes. This is first instance where you see Gandhi, a changed Gandhi after the war. One thing you must understand here, Gandhi, an expert in exploiting the situation, projecting himself as the alternative leader. For him, issues are very important. With every issue, Gandhi emerged strong as a leader. Understand? Then what are the events that made him most popular? Okay. The events one after the other that made him most popular were, okay. You see Rowlatt Acts. Okay. What were these Rowlatt Acts? Okay. This was here in the Rowlatt Satyagraha. Okay. Gandhi for the first time observed All India Satyagraha. Okay. Now I am getting into the freedom struggle. In the freedom struggle, where do you see Gandhi directly confronting the British? Appealing to the people all over British India. That's why I told you, don't say Champaran, Kheda, Ahmedabad, mill workers strikes as part of freedom struggle. They are not part of freedom struggle. Whereas Gandhi's fight against the Rowlatt Acts, that is definitely part of freedom struggle. There is a question in UPSC. What was Gandhi's first Satyagraha in the freedom struggle? It was against Rowlatt Acts. Right. Then what were these acts? Why these acts? You see, it's because when war started, World War I started, okay, British government suspended the civil rights and liberties under what is called Official Secrets Act. Okay. Official Secrets Act, okay, civil rights and liberties, they were all suspended. Okay. Now war ended in 1918. When war ended in 1918, how to deal with the revolutionary situation in India? Okay. You have revolutionary situation, They are revolutionary groups, secret societies, subversive activities, right? How to deal with. That's why the British administration appointed a sedition committee, okay, under the chairmanship of Justice Sidney Rowlatt. Okay. In 1917, okay, a sedition committee, you call it as a sedition committee. Sedition committee was appointed under the chairmanship of Justice Sidney Rowlatt, okay, to investigate revolutionary crimes, okay, and to suggest ways and means in handling the problem of revolutionary terrorism or revolutionary activities. Okay. You see, the committee recommended for, okay, the committee recommended for what? Okay. The committee recommended for, okay, government officers to such enormous powers given to the civil administration. Search anyone, anybody's house without any warrant. Okay. No trial. On mere suspicion, anybody could be detained at any place. Without a trial, anybody could be detained at any place without a trial for 2 years. Look at this. No trial. Okay. Anybody could be on mere suspicion, be detained at any place for 2 years. Okay. And prosecution, is not allowed, okay, without a prosecution, okay, no trial, no prosecution, okay, anybody could be detained at any place, okay, and authorities have the right to search the individual and his property or houses, right? Enormous powers given to the civil administration. With this acts, you see the problem is what? Okay. There are 2 acts. Actually, Rowlatt Acts were 2 acts, and the 2 acts were passed in the Legislative Council. Okay. Against these acts, why against these acts? Problem with the Rowlatt Acts, okay, there is every scope for misuse of these acts. Anybody could be detained. Any Congress leader criticizing the British could be branded anti-British, right, and would be imprisoned without any trial. There is every possibility of, every scope for misuse of these acts. That's the reason why Gandhi's objection was for the his objection was for the Rowlatt Acts. Okay. Now you see what happened on 24th February. Say this, 24th February 1919 at Bombay. Gandhi formed Satyagraha Sabha to protest against the Rowlatt bills. Okay. This was 24th February 1919 at Bombay. Gandhi formed Satyagraha Sabha, okay, in protest against the Rowlatt bills. Okay. So Rowlatt Satyagraha. Okay. Then you see there are, the bill came into effect. Okay. 21st March 1919. Okay. The bill was passed and it came into effect. Okay. Assent on 21st March 1919. Okay. Whereas it came into effect from April 6th. The bill was passed, but it came into effect on April 6th. Okay. Gandhi gave a call for entire nation, British India, to observe a protest day, national protest day against the bill, okay, when it came into force. Okay. Here you have, okay, opposition also to Gandhi. Kindly don't think that all leaders supported Gandhi. Okay. Surendranath Banerjee, you call them liberals. Surendranath Banerjee, Dinsha Vacha, Sapru, Bug tragedy, okay, Amritsar, April 13. Shell shocked, because you see, we never expected that the British would behave in such an inhuman manner. Okay. That's why the great Rabindranath Tagore surrendered his knighthood. Okay. Rabindranath Tagore already got a Nobel Prize. He was given the knighthood, Knight. HOOD, knighthood. This knighthood was by Rabindranath Tagore in protest against the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Okay, you go to Red Fort, Delhi. In the Red Fort, Delhi, you have a letter written by Rabindranath Tagore to Chelmsford Governor General, okay, surrendering his knighthood in protest against the Rowlatt Act, in protest against the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Now Gandhi, okay, decided to use these issues, his, Rowlatt Satyagraha and Jallianwala Bagh massacre, okay, as good weapons against the British. Here again, you see Gandhi, cooperative Gandhi turned against the British, non-cooperative. Okay, Gandhi demanded, number one, revoking Rowlatt Act. Number two, the guilty be punished. Who were the guilty here? Guilty, General Dyer, who committed atrocities. Okay. Redressal of Punjab grievances, that is the right expression. Redressal of Punjab grievances was the main demand of Gandhi. Okay. So these are all the instances what made. You can understand what made Gandhi a cooperative Gandhi to turn non-cooperative. Right. You know better about, little bit about Saifuddin Kichlu here. Okay. Saifuddin Kichlu, okay, a Muslim leader, but highly secular Saifuddin Kichlu. Okay. It was, he was arrested. That's why, Jallianwala Bagh massacre incident closely connected with him, right? Okay. Kichlu was founder of Naujawan Bharat Sabha, Indian Youth Congress. Okay. Naujawan Bharat Sabha. Okay. Then Kichlu also connected with Jamia Millia Islamia. The next incident is that only. When we go to non-cooperation movement, you will see part of non-cooperation movement, Jamia Millia Islamia was founded in Delhi. This was an institution to give education for the youth, Muslim youth, okay, native education for the Muslim youth, Jamia Millia Islamia. Kichlu was connected with this. Okay. Then he also founded, okay, one Swaraj Ashram in Amritsar. Okay. He founded Swaraj Ashram in Amritsar in 1921. Urdu Daily, Tanjim. Okay. Kichlu was also founded Urdu Daily newspaper called Tanjim, Tanzim. Okay. So know these details about Saifuddin Kichlu. Okay. Then what are the other issues involved? Other issues involved here for Gandhi to go for non-cooperation movement. Okay. 1919 Montego Chelmsford reforms. Okay. I told you when Madam Annie Besant started Home Rule movement. Okay. You remember I told you 1917 August. With August declaration, she suspended the Home Rule movement. Okay. She suspended the Home Rule movement, okay, because Governor General Chelmsford promised that after the war, India would be granted, okay, self-governance. Okay. Believing the statement of Chelmsford, Madam Annie Besant suspended the Home Rule movement, right? But instead of giving self-governance as a promise, after the war, English gave us diarchy. Okay. Instead of giving self-governance, they gave us diarchy. I explained in yesterday's class diarchy. Powers divided into reserved and transferred subjects. Understand? Reserved subjects, very important portfolios. Okay, finance, revenue, police, jails, understand? Judiciary, okay, jails, and irrigation. Okay, they will all be under the control of the British, administered by, okay, governor and his executive council. Transferred subjects, okay, some departments were given to the Indians. These transferred subjects included what? Municipality, sanitation, agriculture, industry, agriculture, okay, agriculture, education, okay, these are all transfer subjects. Okay. Transfer subjects would be administered by governor and his council of ministers, elected representatives. Remember, under Montagu Chancellor reforms for the first time direct elections were held. Okay. Now for Gandhi, this system diarchy not a substitute for self-governance. You English, you promised us self-governance, give us self-governance. Right. Diarchy not a substitute for self-governance. Gandhi voiced his protest against, Montagu Chancellor reforms. Right. Added to this, Khilafat issue figured. Okay. Now you see, these are all the developments after the war. Okay. I'll give you a brief summary of all the developments again. Okay. Khilafat issue. Okay. What was Khilafat issue? If you remember, I told you when World War I started. Okay. Turkey, predominantly Islamic Turkey. Turkey joined hands with Germany against England. Now in the war, Germany, Turkey, Bulgaria, you see, all the German allied forces, they were all defeated. War ended with the Paris Treaty. In the Paris Treaty, England threatened to abolish the office of Khalifa. In Turkey, you have Khalifa. It's not only spiritual but political head of the Islamic State. Remember one thing, Islam recognized only Khalifa. Islam doesn't recognize Sultan. Islam recognized number one, the God, the creator, Haq. Right, Haq, the real creator. Representative of the real creator on this earth, Khalifa. Islam recognized only these two. Khalifa, head of the whole Islamic community in the world. Just like you have Pope, head of the Christian, right, Catholic Christians, like that Pope. Okay. Now you see, problem for England was, okay, with the Islamic community spread all over the world, okay, the loyalties of Muslims transcend the boundaries. That is the problem. England's colonial empire, the most expanded colonial empire in the world. You know that. Okay. England's colonial empire, okay, in every continent you have England's colonies, covered 1/3 of world's population. It's because of, office called Khalifa, okay, sitting in Turkey, giving a call for Muslims to turn against English means, to go against English means, that is definitely creating a problem for English. So England wanted to abolish the office of Khalifa. But you see, very clever English, they had not abolished it. They just threatened. They wanted to see the reaction of the Muslims. Interestingly, there is no reaction at all from Muslims. Okay. No reaction at all from Muslims. Okay. Whereas, reaction at all from Muslims in Turkey. Reaction started here in India. Understand? In India with Ali brothers. Okay. Ali brothers, Maulana Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. Okay. They were the ones who founded All India Khilafat Committee. Okay. All India Khilafat Committee. Okay. All India Khilafat Committee, okay, Bombay, founded in Bombay. Okay. The Muslim prominent leaders connected with Khilafat Committee. I am reading out the names, kindly note. Muslim leaders connected with Khilafat Committee, okay, founders, Ali brothers. Ali brothers, Maulana Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. They were the ones who took the lead. Okay. Great leaders, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Hakim Azmal Khan, okay, Hazrat Mohani. Okay, remember Mohani, very important. I will discuss about Mohani. Okay. Abul Kalam Azad, Hakim Azmal Khan, Hazrat Mohani, right, and M.A. Ansari, Muqtada, okay, Ahmad Ansari. Mukhtar Ahmad Ansari, okay, M.A. Ansari. They are all connected with Khilafat Committee. Okay. When Khilafat Committee was founded in Bombay, its first president was Seth Chothani, Seth, S-E-T, okay, towards the problems of Indian peasantry and working class. In other words, Gandhi wanted relief for the working classes, number one. Next, number two, constitutional reforms 1919, disappointing. Diarchy not a substitute for self-governance. Next, number three, Rowlatt Acts must be revoked because they are obnoxious. They are undermining the civil rights and liberties. Next, number four, the guilty. Who was the guilty? General Dyer, Michael O. Dyer. I'm sorry, Reginald Dyer. General Dyer, Reginald Dyer, okay, the military administrator of Amritsar, must be, booked for excesses. Okay, he had committed excesses, so he must be punished. Next, Khilafat shall not be abolished. These are all, okay, the reasons for Gandhi, for cooperative Gandhi to turn non-cooperative. Here you also see, okay, in the Khilafat committee, okay, prominent leaders. Okay, prominent leaders, I have given you the names of the Muslim leaders, right? Okay. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Muzarul Haq, right? Okay, Hazrat, Hazrat Mohani. I told you people, Hazrat Mohani important. Okay. What are the important things about this leader, Hazrat Mohani? Okay. Hazrat Mohani, okay, was connected with later the formation of the Communist Party of India. He is very closely connected with CPI, Communist Party of India. Okay. Coining with the term, you see very popular slogan, Inquilab Jindabad, right? Note down this. Inquilab Jindabad, okay, Bhagat Singh made it so popular, Inquilab Jindabad. This phrase Inquilab Jindabad started with Hazrat Mohani. It was he who coined this phrase. Okay, he introduced for the first time this phrase, Inquilab Jindabad, in 1921. He was also the first person to demand complete independence. See this. Okay, way back 1921 in Indian politics, okay, I continued to maintain one stand, one stand, if you remember. I said, okay, moderates never ask for independence. I also told you people, extremists also either. Extremists also never asked for total independence. Total independence as a policy of the Congress party, as the ultimate aim of Congress party, you can hear it only 1929 Lahore session. Right? 1929 Lahore session, December. Okay. Whereas before these developments, it was one Indian leader who gave a call for total independence, Purna Swaraj. It was Hazrat Mohani. Okay. Mark it, very important. First person to demand for complete independence. Okay. While presiding over, you see, he participated in the Ahmedabad session. Ahmedabad session 1921, okay, Hakim Asmal Khan was the president. Hakim Asmal Khan presided because, you see, actual president was, okay, our Deshabandhu Chittranjan Das. Das was in the jail. That's why Hakim Asmal Khan presided over the Ahmedabad session of INC. Okay. In that Ahmedabad session of INC, Hazrat Mohani gave a call for complete independence, Purna Swaraj. Okay. Remember these things, right? Fine. Then you see, now grounds are satisfied. Cooperative Gandhi and non-cooperative, right? Then the questions here, okay. I told you already the questions. Question in UPSC, how to understand cooperative Gandhi became non-cooperative. Okay. Cooperative Gandhi became non-cooperative. Okay. I told you the reasons, right? Another question asked in UPSC, was the rise of Gandhi in Indian politics A top class game at high level? You remember this question? I have enlisted the questions given by UPSC. Rise of Gandhi in Indian politics, a top class game at high level. Right? Try to understand this game. Okay. Some of you may ask me the question how to answer this question if it is repeated again. First of all, you should know what game Gandhi played. Right? A crafty politician, definitely, man, a seasoned politician, Gandhi. I told you he was not so welcomed, you understand, not so acceptable as a leader within the Congress party. If you remember, I went on telling you people, whatever Gandhi had done, he had done it in his individual capacity, not as a member of the Congress party. Right? I told you that he wanted to project himself as an alternative leader to the Congress party. Right? Right. Now, how Gandhi made Congress party accept him as the sole leader? Okay. This is what is top class game. How he made Congress party accept him as the sole leader. Right. Now you see what happened. There are two leaders in the Indian politics who rose to prominence under the shadow of Gandhi. Okay. Under the shadow of Gandhi, their strength and weakness both is Gandhi. With Gandhi, they rose to Indian politics. They reached very high positions. One, Babu Rajendra Prasad. The other one, Sardar Patel. Okay. Both came to the limelight under the shadow of Gandhi. Then you see, by the time these developments were taking place, Lala Lajpat Rai was the president of the Congress party. 1920, 1920, Lajpat Rai was the president of the Congress party. Now Gandhi drafted the proposals for non-cooperation movement. For Gandhi, conditions are satisfied for non-cooperation movement. Now you have to win the support of Congress party. I told you, Gandhi to make Congress party invite him, right? Okay. How to make Congress party invite him as the leader? Now Gandhi drafted the proposals for non-cooperation movement, okay, and sent them to Lajpat Rai through Sardar Patel. The point here is Sardar Patel and Lajpat Rai were very close friends. Okay. Lajpat Rai had not accepted certain ideas of Gandhi. Understand? Now you see, proposals reached Sardar Patel, reached Lala Lajpat Rai through Sardar Patel. Understanding, okay, to discuss the proposals in CWC meeting, okay, convince the CWC for a movement against the British and to invite Gandhi. Hope you are understanding. And to invite Gandhi. That's how you see the proposals for non-cooperation movement, okay, drafted by Gandhi, okay, reached Lajpat Rai. Lajpat Rai was the president of the Congress party at that time. Okay. Now Lajpat Rai convened, okay, a special session. It is called CWC, you can call it as, okay, Calcutta CWC session. Okay. September 1920, Calcutta CWC session was held. Okay. Then you see, before that also certain developments took place. Very important development was, okay, when the discussions were going on the subject non-cooperation movement, okay, 1st August 1920, okay, officially call was given for non-cooperation movement. Congress was not a party yet. Okay, negotiations were still going on. Okay, Gandhi trying his best to win the support of the Congress party leaders. Okay, while these discussions were going on, 1st August 1920, the movement was to start. Okay, movement was to start. Okay, unfortunately, the very day, the 1st August, okay, Tilak passed away. Okay, Tilak died. Our great leader, Lokmanya Tilak, okay, he died August 1st, 1920. The day actually we have to start our movement. Okay. That's why the movement could not make any progress afterwards. Now, after that, after August, September 1920, CWC session was held. Congress Working Committee session was held in Kolkata. Okay. There, Gandhi's proposals were accepted. Okay. Supporters of the proposals, Nehru, Motilal Nehru, okay. Then Saifuddin Kichlu, Shaukat Ali, Dr. Ansari, Yaqub Hassan. These are all Muslim leaders. Obviously, they are now for, Khilafat issue. They all supported. Motilal Nehru supported. They are all supporters. Okay. Whereas you see, Gandhi's opponents, there are some leaders who are not happy with Gandhi's proposals. They are against movement. Who are these ones? The ones who opposed Gandhi for non-cooperation movement were C.R. Das. Das was against non-cooperation movement in the CWC meeting. Okay. Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya. One person never accepted Gandhian method. It was Madan Mohan Malaviya. And Madam Annie Besant, I already told you. Okay, Madam Annie Besant. Okay. Now you remember one thing, Jinnah totally withdrawn. Jinnah not at all happy with the turn of events, particularly bringing Muslims into the mainstream of the struggle on, religious issue. Jinnah was definitely not happy. Jinnah was not active at all. Okay. So opponents who opposed Gandhi in this, CWC session were, the plan of non-cooperation movement were Deshabandhu Chittaranjan Das, Madan Mohan Malaviya and Madam Annie Besant. They were against the idea of non-cooperation movement. Why? Because you see, war, has not left its impact, not cleared its impact yet. We are recovering, okay, at that point. Okay. At that point of recovery, any movement means, again, it's affecting the interest of Indians only. Right. Finally, Calcutta CWC approved the idea of Gandhi. Okay. Suggested the ideas, all other suggestions of Gandhi. What were the other suggestions of Gandhi? Boycotting, okay. Boycotting foreign goods, schools, courts, councils. Right. Total boycott. Okay. Then titles, surrendering the titles. Next, encouraging Khadi, national education. Right. All these were accepted by the Calcutta session. Okay. Then you see a call was also given to boycott elections. If you remember, I told you, Montagu Chelmsford reforms provided for council's entry. Okay. A call was also given to boycott the elections. Right. Then you see, okay, Nagpur session was held, annual session. Okay. Whenever, okay, CWC takes a decision, okay, that would come for ratification. Ratification in the annual session. You remember I told you every December, okay, 28th to 31st annual sessions will be held. 1920 December annual session was held at Nagpur. Okay. This session was presided over by Veera Raghavacharya. Veera Raghavacharya, diehard follower of Gandhi. Okay. It was in this session, remember, very important, 1920 Congress session, okay, Gandhi's proposals were endorsed. The decision taken by CWC accepting the proposals was ratified. That means annual session also accepted the proposals for non-cooperation movement. What is very important here was C.R. Das was against non-cooperation movement in the CWC meeting. But Das now made up his mind and supported non-cooperation movement in the Nagpur session. Right. So Nagpur session also incorporated all the issues. What are the other issues? Okay, idea of self-governance. Okay, idea of self-governance, native education, Khilafat issue, Punjab grievances. What all I said the reasons for non-cooperation movement, they are all accepted. Accepted as the program of the non-cooperation movement, to become part of the program of non-cooperation movement. It was also in this session, decisions were taken. Decisions were taken to go for a new constitution of the Congress party. Okay. In the Nagpur session 1920, okay, new constitution was drafted for the Congress party. As per the new constitution drafted, All India Committee, okay, to constitute with 350 members. Working Committee, CWC, Working Committee with 15 members. Okay. This is Working Committee, CWC, was first suggested by Tilak. Unfortunately, then no one bothered about accepting Tilak's proposal. Now it was accepted. CWC to Congress Committee, Congress Party. Then All India Committee, KICC, with 350 members. Okay. Then local committees, provincial Congress committees also to be formed on linguistic basis. See this. Congress party in principle was for linguistic provinces. Okay. Why? Because you see there are so many differences in the Indian society, right? We are different, okay, on our language, history, culture, heritage, everything is different, right? So regional committees, Congress committees on linguistic basis, formation of the committees on linguistic basis. Okay. This was also accepted. Okay. Right. So new developments in the Nagpur session. Okay. Nagpur session. Okay. But this thing is, this is self-government. Okay. Self-governance, the highest goal, right, of the non-cooperation movement. Self-governance. But what is self-governance? I told you, remember, okay, governing India within the parameters of the British administration. If you remember, I told you self-governance means Indians governing themselves under the guidance of the British. Okay. Nagpur session explained the same thing. It ascertained the same thing. That's why I am telling you time and again that we did not ask for total independence before 1929. Even in non-cooperation movement, you are asking for only self-governance. Self-governance under the guidance of the British. Okay, please note that point, very important. Non-cooperation movement also was for Indians governing themselves, but under the guidance of the British. Right. Gandhi promised the Congress party. What to promise he made? Okay. Swaraj in 1 year. Okay. See this. Gandhi promised, okay, slogan. He gave this slogan, Swaraj in 1 year. For him, Swaraj also meant the Indians governing under the guidance of the British. But this is within 1 year. He promised the AICC, Congress Committee, okay, Nagpur session. Right. So line was cleared for Gandhi. Okay. Now Gandhi was made the sole leader. Right. Hope you are understanding the question here. What is the top class game he played? Top class game he played, okay, was to get the proposals reach Lajpat Rai, President of the Congress Party, CWC to discuss the proposals and to invite Gandhi. Okay. Here Patel was the one used by Gandhi to convince President of the Congress Party, okay, Lajpat Rai. Congress had not invited on its own. Gandhi made Congress to invite. Hope you are getting the point clear now. Gandhi made Congress to invite. Congress on its own had not invited. So clearly you can see this as a game. Okay. But my question here is, fundamental question here is, how are you going to answer this question tomorrow? If you get the same question, was the rise of Gandhi in Indian politics a top class game at a high level? Right? It is repeated, let us say so. How are you going to answer this question? Would you end up your answer saying, yes, it's a top class game at high level? If you end your answer saying, Yes, it's a top class game at a high level, means you are projecting Gandhi, you know, a politician, crafty, cunning politician, understand? Maneuvering the things, manipulating things, right? That is disgraceful. In any answer of yours, I told you in modern India, particularly in the freedom struggle, don't ever end your answer with a negative note. Okay. Critical appraisal. UPSC will give you questions highly provocative. Okay. UPSC will ask you a question. Did Gandhi make Congress party a laboratory for his experiments? Discuss critically. Okay. How to deal with this question? Okay. I told you answers must be balanced. How to give a balanced answer? Yes, Gandhi made Congress party a laboratory for his experiments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where all he made experiments, you have to give the answer. Concluding part of your answer, you see, this is what is very important. You should say, yes, these experiments benefited the cause of the nation. Understand? Don't ever, I told you, criticize Gandhi. End your answer criticizing Gandhi. Whatever that you want to say it in the beginning. But concluding part, end with a positive note. Gandhi did make experiments, but that experiments benefited the cause of the nation. Right? Now come back to this question. Was the rise of Gandhi in Indian politics a top class game at high level? Okay. You see, Gandhi now, undisputed leader of the Congress party, the sole leader of the party. Okay. Entrusted with the responsibility to run the movement. Okay. Finally, he got what he wanted. He made Congress party to invite. Fine, this is definitely a game. But how are you going to end? That's what I am asking. End part of your answer, see this. It's a top class game at a high level by number one, highly qualified man. Get the point. We know that it's a game, but I told you, no, concluding part must be always positive. It's a game, okay, but by highly qualified man. Understand? He is not an ordinary leader, highly qualified man. Secondly, that too not for his personal interest. Say that. It is in the interest of the nation. Gandhi played this game. That's how you have to project Gandhi. Clear? Fine. Now the line cleared for Gandhi. Gandhi drafted the program. What was the program? Program of non-cooperation movement. Program of non-cooperation movement, Swadeshi, Swaraj, I already told you. Swaraj meant within the British administration. Swadeshi, total, everything native. Swaraj, total boycott everything of the British. Okay. No tax campaigns, don't pay taxes. Gandhi gave a call for no tax campaigns. Okay. And you see, charka. What is charka? Handloom. Handloom is the sign for non-cooperation movement. It's a symbol for Swadeshi. Okay. Handloom, charka. That is the sign for non-cooperation movement. Right. This is the program. Program also included Hindu-Muslim joint resistance. Why? Because you see Gandhi, chairman of the Khilafat committee. In his capacity as the chairman of the Khilafat committee, it's his duty also to, bring Muslims here, right? So it's a joint resistance of the Hindu-Muslim, right? Two leaders who were thoroughly disappointed with Gandhi, I told you already. Madam Annie Besant not happy, and Jinnah definitely not happy. Why they were not happy? I gave you the reasons also. Jinnah was not happy because, okay, Muslims were brought into the mainstream of this struggle, okay, on communal ground, on religious issue, played with the sentiments being, exploited, right? That's where Jinnah not happy. Madam Annie Besant criticized Gandhi because, you see, she was never convinced about the technique Satyagraha. She is not convinced about popular, mass movement. masses to be brought into the struggle. She is also not convinced about no tax campaign. For her, no tax campaign means anarchy. If you are asking peasant not to pay the taxes, means what? That is anarchy. For an Absent, movement is not, run on, run on good culture. Culture is very important. If you are giving a call for no tax campaigns means there is every possibility of people going for no tax campaign even tomorrow after India winning independence. Right? That's why Annie Besant not happy. Right? Now Gandhi drafting the program. Okay? So the movement started. Okay? Movement for all practical purposes. Okay? It started first phase. Okay? January onwards, 1921, January onwards, the movement started. Right? All the great leaders, you see Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay? The Bipin, the great leaders, Deshabandhu Chittaranjan Das, they are all lawyers, right? Das, okay, Motilal Nehru, M.R. Jaikar, Saifuddin Kichlu, Sardar Patel, right? Rajagopalachari, Prakasham, Tangutur Prakasham, Asaf Ali, they all gave up their practice, entered into the movement. Subhash Chandra Bose, during this movement, became the principal of the National College in Kolkata. Okay, National College was founded there to teach national education. Bose acted as the principal, right? So it's a movement that started at British India level, right? Intensive, definitely in the beginning. Okay, Indians boycotting the British officers, surrendering the titles, boycotting the elections, right? Total boycott everywhere. Okay. During the course of the movement, okay, you have no tax campaigns. I told you no tax campaigns is a part of the program, right? No tax campaigns were held all over British India. Okay. But you see, so during non-cooperation movement, Gandhi maximum depended upon the leadership, Andhra leadership. Our Andhra leadership, die-hard followers of Gandhi. Gandhi toured maximum number of times Andhra Pradesh. 3 times he toured Andhra Pradesh during non-cooperation movement. While the movement was going on, okay, you see 1921, October, AICC session was held as a special session in Vijayawada. Okay. In that Vijayawada special session, a call was given for mobilizing Tilak's Memorial Fund. Tilak died in August, I told you, 1920. In memory of Tilak, a fund was to be mobilized. Tilak Fund. A call was given for rupees 1 crore, target 1 crore. When this call was given for mobilizing Tilak's fund, a prostitute from Guntur, prostitute. This session was held in Vijayawada, right? A prostitute from Guntur by name Yamini Purnatilakam. Yamini Purnatilakam, she donated her entire property for Tilak's Memorial Fund. Say this. Vijayawada session is very important. AICC session. This is not annual session. AICC, All India Congress Committee session was held in Vijayawada. It was in this session that Pingali Venkayya presented Gandhi our tricolor flag, national flag. Gandhi asked Venkayya to prepare the flag within 3 days. Pingali Venkayya presented Gandhi national flag, the tricolor flag. Then it was also decided to go for manufacturing 20 lakh charkas, CHARKS. Charkas means handlooms, and to distribute them for our weavers. It's a part of Swadeshi, encouraging Swadeshi. Right. There are other developments also connected. I told you it was a joint resistance of the Hindus and Muslims. Right, Hindus and Muslims. Now Muslim leadership, particularly Ali brothers, Maulana Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, they founded Jamia Millia Islamia. Jamia Millia Islamia in Delhi. Okay, remember this, very important. Even today, you have this prestigious institution in Delhi. Remember, couple of months back it was in news. Okay, Jamia Millia Islamia. Okay. Jamia Millia Islamia was founded in Delhi during non-cooperation movement by Ali brothers to impart native education. Right. When Gandhi gave a call for no tax campaigns, okay, no tax campaigns were held. Okay, all popular no tax campaigns in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, you have Andhra Ratna, we call him the diamond of Andhras. Okay, Gopala Krishnaiya. Okay, Andhra Ratna Duggirala Gopala Krishnaiya. He conducted Chirala Perala no tax campaign. Okay, Chirala, Chirale. Perala, Perale. See, there are two villages, Chirala, Perala. These villages, they were made into municipality and people were asked to pay the revised tax, house tax. They have not provided amenities. They have not provided the amenities connected to municipal administration, but tax was levied. Okay. Against that, the Chirala Perala no tax campaign was held under the leadership of Gopala Krishnaiya. Okay. Then you see the most successful no tax campaign during the entire non-cooperation movement. Very important. Most successful in the sense, not a single peasant paid the tax. Most successful no tax campaign, in the entire non-cooperation movement was held at Pedanandi Padu, PEDA, Nandi, Nandi, Pedanandi Padu, okay, no tax campaign. Pedanandi Padu in Guntur district, PEDA, Peda Nandi. Nandi means bull, right? Pedanandi Padu, okay, no tax campaign under the leadership of Parvataneni Viraya Chaudhary. Neni Viraya, very very important this man. Okay. Viraya Chaudhary. Okay. This was the most successful no tax campaign in entire British India. Not a single peasant paid the tax. Look at this. Very well organized no tax campaign. For Gandhi, any movement to become successful in India, it must first be successful in Andhra Pradesh. That was the level of his dependence on Andhra leaders. Understand? Other important events during the non-cooperation movement. Okay. British tried their best to, appease different sections of the Indian society. Okay. They encouraged princely states first. Okay. Native princes and jamindars to go against Congress party. Okay. Anti-non-cooperation movement started. You see this, very interesting. Our Indian princes, die-hard followers of the British, right? Okay. Indian princes starting anti-non-cooperation movement. Anti-non-cooperation movement. Okay. Our princes and the jamindars, they all started anti-non-cooperation movement under the leadership of Thakur Singh. Thakur Singh. English encouraged the princely states against the Congress party. Okay. Then Governor General was Lord Reading. Okay. He was the Governor General. He invited Gandhi for discussions. He made an attempt to create differences between Gandhi and Ali brothers. You understand? Inviting Gandhi for discussions. Okay. This also did not, pay any result, positive result. Okay. His attempt failed there. Okay. Then English announced the visit of Prince of Wales. Prince of Wales, okay, would visit India. Okay. And a goodwill gesture. This is what the announcement made. Prince of Wales visited, but his visit failed in invoking any positive response. Okay. deserted cities, okay, greeted Prince of Wales. No one, no Congress leader showed interest on that. Okay. So the attempts made by the English ended up as failure. Okay. It was during the same time, okay, that means while the movement was going on, okay, while the movement was going on, okay, then you have, okay, you know, people's movements, I mean, tribal movements also started. You remember? Okay, Rampa Chodavaram, Alluri Sitaramras, okay, the Koyas and Chenchos, the Koyas of Godavari agency area, remember? Under Alluri Sitaramras, armed rebellion started in the Godavari agency area, 1922-24, right? Similarly, in Palanadu, Guntur district, you had Palanadu Forest Satyagraha by the Chenchu tribes. Kanneganti Hanumant, he led the Satyagraha. I discussed this under the tribal movements, right? Okay. Then you see in tribal movements also started, part of the non-cooperation movement, right? Then you see in Uttar Pradesh, people organized peasant movements. Kisan movement was led in Uttar Pradesh by Baba Ramchandra, very important. In UP, Uttar Pradesh, Baba Ramchandra, he led the Kisan movement. Kisan movement in Rai Bareli, Uttar Pradesh. Rai Bareli, Pratapgarh, right? Faizabad, Sultanpur. In all these places, he organized peasantry, okay, and conducted Kisan movement, right? Similarly, another important movement also started. It was against Begar. Begar means forced labor. Begar. Begar. Okay, Beggar. Begar. Begar means forced labor, bonded labor. Against Begar, bonded labor in Uttar Pradesh. Okay. And you see, forced supplies also. Rasad. Begar and Rasad. Rasad means you have to pay. Forced supply. Okay. In the produce, you have to give them, you have to give landlords a portion of that. Forced supply. Right. Rasad and Begar. Begar means bonded labor. Against this, the great e-com movement was started in 1920 under the leadership of Madari Pasi, right? It's a peasant movement under the leadership of Madari Pasi. Okay. Against Begar and Rasad, okay, you have EKA movement, very important, EKA movement. This was also part of, non-cooperation movement under the leadership of Madari Pasi, Madari, Pasi, Pasi. Okay. Started in UP. Right. Okay. These are all important events connected, okay, with the non-cooperation movement. Right. Then you see what happened was, Ali brothers unfortunately not happy with the Gandhian method of struggle. Okay. I told you, 1921 October, you had All India Congress Committee, AICC session was held in Vijayawada. In that Vijayawada session itself, Ali brothers wanted Gandhi to intensify the movement. Okay. Intensify non-cooperation movement. Okay. The problem is, if you intensify the non-cooperation movement, you know what will happen? Okay. You will lose control over the movement. Right. Once you lose control over the movement, it will become violent. Okay. Gandhi, in principle, against violent movements. Why? Because if any movement turns violent, it would be easy for the state to use counterforce. Okay. Don't underestimate administration, state. If you become violent, state will become more so violent. If state unleashes, if state uses force, you can't stand before the state. That's why Gandhi always preferred Satyagraha, Ahimsa. This was not liked by Ali brothers. Ali brothers wanted the movement to intensify. Unfortunately, you see, okay, differences are starting now between Ali brothers and Gandhi. Okay, Gandhi was not for intensification. Ali brothers wanted it. Okay. Unwillingly, Gandhi agreed. Okay. Unwillingly, Gandhi yielded to the pressure of Ali brothers and gave a call for civil disobedience. Please understand this. There are two things here. Movement is called non-cooperation. Up to October 1921, you call it non-cooperation only. From October 1921, you can say second stage started called civil disobedience. Okay. What is the difference between civil disobedience and non-cooperation? Civil disobedience. Right. Civil disobedience means breaking law. Non-cooperation means not to cooperate with the state. I don't pay tax. Okay. This is non-cooperation. I don't give you any service. This is non-cooperation. I will not come to your office. I will not come to your education centers. I will not give you any service. This is non-cooperation. Right? Civil disobedience means breaking law. You understand? What is the law? I will break the law. That is relatively intensive movement. Okay. Gandhi was not for intensive movement. Ali brothers brought pressure on Gandhi. Finally, unwillingly, Gandhi agreed for, civil disobedience movement. Second stage. Okay. Unfortunate events also started taking place. What were the unfortunate events? While non-cooperation movement was going on, Mopla uprising, Moplah, Mopla uprising. Mopla uprising started in the Malabar coast, Kerala. Okay. What was this Mopla uprising? Okay. In the Malabar coast, Kerala. Okay. Moplas were the Muslim agricultural laborers in the Malabar coast, Kerala. These Muslim agricultural laborers in the Malabar coast, Kerala, okay, were exploited. Okay, were exploited by the Brahmin Nambudri landlords. Okay. Moplas means Muslim agricultural laborers. Muslim agricultural laborers. Laborers in Malabar coast. Of Kerala. These Muslim agricultural laborers, called Moplas in the Malabar coast of Kerala, exploited by Hindu landlords, that too Nambudri Brahmins. These Nambudri Brahmins of Kerala, you call them Janmi, Jnmi. Right? Janmi is exploiting the Muslim agricultural laborer. See, the problem here, agricultural laborer exploited by Jamindar is a common situation. Everywhere it takes place. Landed aristocrats, Jamindars, landlords exploiting the agricultural laborer. It's a common, phenomena. Okay. Whereas here in Kerala, unfortunately, okay, the workers happen to be Muslims, labor happen to be Muslims, and the landlords happen to be Brahmin, Brahmin landlords. Genovese. Okay. So finally it had become what actually was an agriculture crisis. Crisis in agrarian economy, it finally became a communal problem between Hindu and Muslim. Right? Widespread disturbances started in the Malabar coast of Kerala called Mopla uprising. Okay. I don't know whether you have heard of this movie or not. There's one movie called 1921. Movie. Mammootty, you understand, and Mohanlal, Kerala actors, Malayali actors, they all acted in this movie. It's about the Mopla uprising in Kerala. Right. So Hindu-Muslim differences, if you understand, non-cooperation movement, a joint resistance of the Hindu and Muslim. Now differences started between Hindu and Muslim. More than this, unfortunately, communal riots started. Communal riots started in sensitive cities, Lucknow, Meerut, Kanpur. Okay. Communal riots started between Hindus and Muslims. Okay. In Lucknow, Meerut, Kanpur means definitely movement had gone beyond the control of the leader. Movement going against the spirit of the movement. Okay. Hindu-Muslim unity, now you don't see that. Each one killing the other. For Gandhi, definitely movement had gone beyond the control of the leader. Okay. Then you see, February 5th, 1922, Gandhi was silently offering prayers, I must say, okay, to God to give him one excuse or the other to suspend the non-cooperation movement. Because he had lost control over the movement. It's getting violent. Okay. Now he had to go for civil disobedience, okay, on 5th February, okay, in Gujarat. Okay. 5th February, Gandhi himself had to start a civil disobedience movement. Okay. He himself had to start the civil disobedience movement, okay, at Bardoli. Okay, at Bardoli. Right. That particular day, Chauri Chaura incident had taken place. You see, Chauri Chaura incident, 5th February 1922. I told you 5th February, Gandhi had to start civil disobedience movement. Okay, civil disobedience movement he had to start, right? Okay. That particular day, okay, Chauri Chaura incident started. Okay. Chauri Chaura incident 1922, February 5th, okay, 1922, okay, in the Gorakhpur district, UP. What happened here? Okay. Mob turned violent. Okay. Actually, they were going for a procession. Police, lathi charged them. That made the mob turn violent. Okay. Violent mob attacked the police station. Poor fellow police, they took shelter in the police station. The police station was locked. Constables, 22 police constables were burnt alive. Okay. It's a ghastly, scenario, right? 22 police constables were burnt alive in the Gorakhpur district, Chauri Chaura police station. Right? This is bloody violent movement, definitely, violent incident. When police constables were burnt alive, you think police would keep quiet? Every textbook tells you Chauri Chaura incident, Chauri Chaura incident, Chauri Chaura incident. Okay. No textbook tells you what happened after that. After that, you see British police rounded up the village Chauri Chaura. Okay. Caught nearly 141 people suspected to have been involved in the attack on police station. Without trial, they were hanged. Means what? As expected by Gandhi, movement definitely turned violent. Okay. It became violent means people's violence started. If people's violence start, means the state would also go for violence. Okay. For Gandhi, it is high time to suspend the movement. Okay. Gandhi suspended the movement. Gandhi suspended the movement with Bardoli resolution. Okay. On 12th February at Bardoli, a meeting was held for the Congress Working Committee. Okay. The Congress Working Committee condemned Chauri Chaura incident. Okay. And passed the resolution called Bardoli resolution. Okay. Bardoli resolution suspending the movement. Right. Non-cooperation movement. See, another interesting thing, Bardoli resolution, mark it important, Bardoli resolution. Okay, 12th February at Bardoli. It asked the peasantry now to pay taxes and tenants to pay rents. Actually, no tax campaign. Now the movement suspended. Bardoli resolution is asking peasantry to pay the taxes and the tenants to pay rents. Okay. Gandhi observed on his part a fast for 5 days. Okay. A fast for 5 days. Blaming himself, you understand, for the untoward incidents that happened. Right. With that, okay, non-cooperation movement ended. Okay. You see, after that, on 10th March 1922, Gandhi was arrested. In the month March 1922, Gandhi was arrested, okay, in Sabarmati Ashram and sentenced to 6 years of imprisonment. Okay. Because of the disturbances of non-cooperation movement, Gandhi was arrested and sentenced for 6 years imprisonment, just like Tilak to Mandalay jail. The trial of Gandhi here is just like the trial of Tilak. Okay. The district magistrate of Ahmedabad, okay, Broomsfield, he conducted the inquiry. He conducted the trial of Gandhi. Broomsfield expressed his respect for Gandhi, and Gandhi happily accepted the judgment. Okay, 6 years imprisonment. So Gandhi was sentenced to Yarwada jail, Pune. Okay. There you see he remained in the jail, okay, for 2 years. On health grounds he was released in 1924. Okay. Gandhi released in 1924 on health grounds. He served the imprisonment for 2 years. Actually it was for 6 years. Okay. That's how you see non-cooperation movement ended. Okay. Right. Now you make a critical appraisal. Okay. Critical appraisal of non-cooperation movement. What is a critical appraisal? I told you failures and achievements. Okay. When it comes to critical appraisal, yes, non-cooperation movement ended up as a failure. Okay. Definitely it ended up as a failure in every regard. Okay. What were the main reasons for non-cooperation movement? Number one, you wanted relief. Relief for worker and patient. Right? No relief was provided. No tax concession for workers, for peasantry, and no better wages for workers and all that. Right? So no relief for workers. First reason, okay, it was not fulfilled. Next, number two, second important reason for non-cooperation movement, self-governance. That's the ultimate aim, right? But no self-governance was provided. Diarchy continued. Our objection was against diarchy. But you see, diarchy continued. We have to remain with diarchy. Okay, they have not abolished diarchy. Third thing, Rowlatt Acts to be revoked. But the acts came to stay. They were not revoked. Okay. Next, number four, the person responsible for Jallianwala Bagh massacre, General Dyer. Okay. Dyer to be punished. Okay. On this, you see, British appointed an inquiry committee. You call it as Hunter Committee. Okay. Hunter Committee. Okay. This Hunter Committee exonerated Dyer. It gave a clean chit to Dyer, saying after all, he had discharged his duty. The fellow who had shot dead, ordered for shooting down more than 600 Indian people, innocent, unarmed people. For English, he had done his duty. So Punjab grievances were not addressed. The fellow responsible for innocent, lives, 600, nearly more than 600, 900, we have no exact estimation. Understand? Official account only says 350. Okay, but three times more than that actually. No one can come forward even to give witness on that. Such was the terror the British created. Dead bodies he put there, you understand. No doctor even attended these things and no hospital admitted the people grievously injured. It was a gory incident, horrible incident, right? So the fellow responsible for this ghastly incident, Dyer, he was completely, exonerated. He was given a clean sheet. He was acquitted of all the charges. So Punjab grievances not addressed. Okay. Then Khilafat issue, the last one. These are all the issues why non-cooperation started, right? Khilafat issue was for what? To retain the office of Khalifa. Very interestingly, England had not abolished Khilafat. Okay. People of Turkey themselves removed Khilafat. This is what is the funniest part. Okay. In 1922, okay, a movement started in Turkey, right, under Mustafa Kemal Pasha. Okay. Under Mustafa Kemal Pasha, a reformist movement started in Turkey. Kemal Pasha himself removed Khalifa. People of Turkey themselves removed Khalifa means for whose sake Khilafat movement started in India. Right? Finally, it became a mockery. Okay. So if you go by the objectives of non-cooperation movement failed in all these regards. That's why a failure. Right. On the other hand, negative effects started. What were the negative effects? Unfortunately, you see, as Jinnah already warned Gandhi, now Jinnah proved right. Okay. Gandhi suspending non-cooperation movement. Okay. In suspending the non-cooperation movement, he had taken unilateral decision. Understand? He had not consulted Ali brothers. Ali brothers, Maulana Muhammad Ali, Shaukat Ali, they were thoroughly disappointed with Gandhi. Okay. Because the movement now failed. Okay. Now the blame rests on Gandhi. Okay. Here Gandhi's fault was without consulting Ali brothers, he suspended the non-cooperation movement and simply left for Sabarmati. Okay. This is where definitely Ali brothers disappointed. Remember one statement I am giving. Never again Muslims trusted Congress party. In other words, non-cooperation movement was the last movement in the freedom struggle where you see Hindus and Muslims joined hands with each other. Non-cooperation movement, the last movement where we see Hindu-Muslim unity. Afterwards, you don't see Hindu-Muslim unity at all. In other words, failure of Khilafat movement created a permanent divide, permanent gulf between Hindu and Muslim. Unfortunate development. Who proved right here? Jinnah definitely proved right. He warned not to bring Muslims into nationalist movement on religious grounds. Now we had to pay a very heavy price for this. Never again Muslims participated in the freedom struggle, supporting Congress party. This is number one. Next, number two, second important development was Gandhi suspending the movement led to sharp differences within the Congress party. Okay. Deshabandhu Chittaranjan Das, I told you Das was the elected president for the 1921 session, Ahmedabad session, but Das was in jail. Now Das presided over the 1922 Congress party session. Annual session was held in Gaya, G-A-Y. Okay. Das was the president. Okay. Das was bitter critique of Gandhi now. He was not at all happy the way Gandhi suspended the movement. Das was very well supported by Motilal Nehru, Vittalbhai Patel, M.R. Jaikar. Okay. We call them pro-changers, PRO pro-changers. Okay. Gandhi suspending the non-cooperation movement led to serious differences within the Congress party. Serious differences in the Congress party in the 1922 Gaya session. Okay. In the session, you see differences. Okay. This is not a split, serious differences. Differences between pro-changer and no-changer. Pro-changer, I will tell you why you call them pro-changers. And no-changer. Who are the pro-changers? Deshabandhu C.R. Das, Chittaranjan Das, Deshbandhu, okay. Motilal Nehru. Right. Vittalbhai Patel. Brother of Vallabhbhai Patel. And M.R. Jayakar. These were all pro-changes. They wanted change. What change they wanted, I'll tell you later. No changes. No changes means, okay, the supporters of Gandhi. No changes. Pro-changer, no changer. No changes, okay. You have Jawaharlal Nehru. See, Father Motilal, pro-changer. Son Jawaharlal, no changer. Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay. Next, number 2. Okay. Vallabhbhai Patel. Right, Vallabhbhai Patel. Okay. Vittalbhai Patel, the brother of Vallabhbhai Patel, pro-changer. Vallabhbhai Patel, no change. Next, understand. Babu Rajendra Prasad. And Subhash Chandra Bose. Subhash Chandra Bose is supporting Gandhi. Right. These are all no changes. Now come to the point why you say, Das, Motilal Nehru, Vittalbhai Patel and M.R. Jayakar as pro-changes. They wanted change. What was the change? Change in the method of struggle. For them, it's because Gandhi brought masses into the struggle. Masses were not trained in the art of, peaceful Satyagraha movement. In the peaceful Satyagraha movement, violence took place. So better we not bring masses, right? We will stop the movement with the masses. We will begin the movement with the class. Okay. Hope you are getting it. No masses, right? No mass, only class. Okay. This is the change they wanted. Secondly, they wanted to contest the elections. Okay. If you remember, I told you, people's elections, general elections were to be held. Pro-changers wanted to contest the elections, 1921, 1922 elections, and to enter into the legislative councils. Okay. There they wanted to oppose the British. In other words, pro-changers means council entry. Council entry. Contest the election, go to the legislative council. Okay. Legislative council, there you fight against the British. Council's entry. That's why they are called pro-changers. Okay. They are called pro-changers because no mass movement, class, only classes, okay, not masses. Okay. Next, council's entry. Contest election, go to the legislative council and face the British there. Okay. That's why they are pro-changers. There's no changes for them. Okay. No election, no council's entry. not to contest the elections. No elections. Don't contest the election. Okay. There are no changes. Okay. For them, okay, masses are very important. Masses are the ones strength of the movement. They are not for any change in the method of study. Okay. For them, if you are contesting for elections means you are accepting Montagu-Chelmsford reforms. Accepting the Montagu-Chelmsford reforms means you are accepting diarchy. You are accepting diarchy means you are not for self-governance, right? So they are not for contesting the elections. Secondly, it goes against the idea also, right? If you are now contesting the elections means people will definitely ask the question, why to go for movement when you are decided to contest the elections, right? That's why you see Gandhi and his followers, they are not for, contesting the elections. They are called no changes, right? Question here is why Gandhi suspended the movement. That's equally an important one. For Gandhi, he had to go for suspending the movement because movement was going beyond the control of the leader. Okay. For no changes, Gandhi had not done anything wrong. Okay. Gandhi was right in suspending the movement because movement went beyond the control of the leader. If class goes beyond the control of a teacher, what can the teacher do? Teacher has to suspend the class. When you are riding the bike, you find yourself, you see, lost control over the bike, right? Then you have to apply the brake. Otherwise, you will head for an accident. Same thing. Okay, for Gandhi, it is the time to end the movement. Why? Because movement had gone beyond the control of the leader. Okay. Now, you see how these differences had taken a serious turn. Pro-changers, okay, they founded Congress Khilafat Swaraj Party. See this. UPSC gave a question. What is the full name of Swaraj Party? Congress Khilafat Swaraj Party. This is the full name. Full name of the Swaraj Party. Shortcut Swaraj Party. Full name Congress Khilafat Swaraj Party. It was founded. Okay. But you see, formation of the Congress Khilafat Swaraj Party 1922 Gaya session is not a split in the Congress Party. Don't say that Congress was divided. The Swaraj Party continued to remain within the Congress Party. It continued to remain within the Congress Party. That's why we say it's not a split. It's only a serious difference, point of difference. Okay. Swaraj Party contested the elections, fared extremely well. Remember, Swaraj Party emerged as the single largest party in the Central Legislative Assembly. Central Legislative Assembly means our parliament. Remember, capital city shifted from Kolkata to Delhi, 1911. Edwin Lutyens, the founder of the modern city Delhi, right, New Delhi. You have Rashtrapati Bhavan built, Parliament Bhavan built by Lutyens, right? The present Parliament, building, we call it as Central Legislative Assembly. Okay, there Swaraj Party emerged as the single largest party, Swaraj Party. Swaraj Party's candidate, okay, Vittalbhai Patel, he became the first Indian speaker, right, in the Central Legislative Assembly, Vittalbhai Patel. Right. He became the first Indian elected speaker. Then you have Motilal Nehru. Motilal Nehru of Swaraj Party, okay, he became the first Indian opposition leader. First opposition leader in the parliament. I mean, it's called Central Legislative Assembly. Okay. That way you see Swaraj Party fared extremely well. Right. Unfortunately, in 1925, Das met with a sudden death. C.R. Das' death took place. Okay. That made Swaraj Party virtually a leaderless. Understand? Das was a man of great stature. Okay. A stature of that type that could even challenge Gandhi, that could even question Gandhi. Right. But now Das died. So the point here is, with the death of Das, virtually Swaraj Party lost its vocal leader, and Swaraj Party again became part of the Congress Party. Okay. That way you see there are serious differences within Congress Party when Gandhi suspended the non-cooperation movement. Fine. Then what happened? These are all negative effects only. They're not positive, definitely. Okay. You mean non-cooperation movement ended up altogether as a failure? Okay, no positive results. Don't ever say that. Okay. We did have some positive results with the non-cooperation movement. What were the positive results? As Gandhi very often used to say, with the non-cooperation movement, definitely a political activity started. Okay. It might be a movement for 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year, but definitely it sent a very strong note of dissent against the British. Understand? This is a very important development. What is very important, very often I say, beginning is very important. Right? Whether the beginning is perfect or not, that is a different question. But beginning is very important. Non-cooperation movement made the difference definitely. It was the first movement involving different sections of the Indian society, communities of different sections. A movement of that type never again you see. Understand? So credit goes to non-cooperation movement for galvanizing the national consciousness, for bringing different sections of the Indian society into one common political platform. Right. Next, number 2, with non-cooperation movement, okay, Congress party definitely got strength. Its organizational network got strength. I mean, Pradesh Congress committees were formed, district Congress committees were formed, local Congress committees were formed. Had this movement not been there, means Congress would have taken more time. Okay. With non-cooperation movement, definitely organizational network of the Congress party improved a lot. Number 2. Next, number 3, it was not a mere political movement, right? Non-cooperation movement clubbed very effectively, okay, social reform. Okay. Part of political agitation, social reform. Okay. What is the social reform? Here, picketing against wine shops started. Okay. Gandhi was very particular about a ban on consumption of liquor. Okay. This is harmful, right? Very peaceful picketing against wine shops started. Okay. It conveyed a message, definitely, good message to the society. Okay. And it also highlighted, okay, the idea native education, that's why you see Swadeshi, right? Under that, as I told you, you see Muslims, Jamia Millia Islamia for the Muslim education, right? Okay. So its positive results are also there. Women were also attracted into the movement, right? Nyapati Subbayamma, okay, great lady Nyapati Subbayamma, Telugu leader, okay, she led the movement in Guntur district, right? Okay, non-cooperation movement, Nyapati Subbarao and others, right? So you had, okay, participation at a larger scale because of non-cooperation movement, right? This is the end of the chapter, okay, up to 1920 to 23. Right? What happened afterwards, that's entirely a different story. We'll be discussing that tomorrow.